Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Doom Patrol Season 3, Episode 9, Evil Patrol. And this is the penultimate episode for the season. Next week, of course, is the season finale. So before I get started, let me take care of some business first and wait for some people to trickle in because, again, YouTube hasn't notified anybody. So, hey, what else is new? If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that YouTube pops up right here in this little space right over here. Basically, what YouTube does takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button. Also, if you don't want to be notified when I'm on live again next, you can hit that bell down below. It's a 100% chance that YouTube won't notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I put up there. I change it out every week, and usually I'm pretty much dead on. Every now and then I'm 15 minutes late or 30 minutes late because work. That's what happens. I got a day job, so that's what ends up happening there. Also, I have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages as well. This YouTube channel page, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right, looks like some people are trickling in. So, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and see it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section, giving you enough time to find that pause button or stop button or whatever you want to do. All right. So for this being the penultimate episode of the season, I thought it was kind of boring actually. It kind of meandered in places, and yeah, I know it took some, you know, it took some of the standard things that we see in Doom Patrol episodes around this time of the season, like, of course, um, I'm just gonna say April. Rita actually having the board out so that we can have a plan together and all that kind of stuff. And the whole plan with the Brotherhood of Evil, with Madame Rouge going back to the Brotherhood of Evil and finally remembering everything and that she was on a mission and all of that just seems kind of weird after we went through the whole eternal flagellation. And yeah, everyone kind of forgives Rita about that, I guess, at this point because they come out better for it, except for Cliff. Cliff's the only one that doesn't have any kind of resolution as to what happened to him through the eternal flagellation. He's still in pretty much the same shit place, except for um, Vic. Now has skin. He's lost all his cybernetics, and he's just average again. And of course, he has another confrontation with his father because his father wants to know what the hell he was doing, what he was thinking by doing this, and uh, his father gives him the explanation as to why he gave him the cyborg armor, and it was because he wanted to protect his son. But Vic goes, "You can't even hug me, you can't even look at me because of what I am now, normal." And he basically tells his dad to go fuck himself. That's what he does. Larry, in the meantime, is trying to go back to parroting with the space parasite. Jane doesn't know what the hell's going on because, yeah, Kay is the one that's driving at this point, and the underground is empty, but there's weird sounds emanating from the underground, like deep in the underground. We don't know what's going on there. And yeah, so there's a whole bunch of this kind of blowback, I guess you can say, that's happening from the eternal flagellation. Everyone went through it. Silas actually makes mention of that he went through it as well, which I thought was kind of funny and weird at the same time. CBM says that was weird that they just ignored the whole thing with Rita. I agree with you. It's just kind of a weird. Okay, well that happened, and sure. I mean that they didn't take Rita to task and go, you know what you did was fucking evil. Honestly, it was just as evil as what Madame Rouge is doing. So Yeah. Philip Academics is wrong that I'm siding with the brain on this. Cliff is being nothing but self-destructive with his body. At least the brain knows how to enjoy his retirement. Yeah, you are wrong that you're siding with the brain on this one. I mean, Cliff is conflicted with a lot of stuff that's happening and a lot of stuff that happened to him, and he's not going to get any resolution because Niles is dead. Niles is his focus of what he needs in order to resolve all of his issues, quite honestly. And unfortunately, since Niles is dead, he can't resolve a lot of the stuff and he can't move on. Whereas the brain, all he's doing is he's living out a retired life in a robot body that seems kind of weird and just odd, but okay. And also boring. It really does. Maybe I'll take up dancing with the widow in Unit J, is what he says. And of course, he does that. And yeah, it just was kind of a weird episode. Um, and of course, Madame Rouge gets screwed by the Brotherhood of Evil as well because she ends up stealing Cliff's body for the brain and Monsieur Mala, Monsieur Mala. I My French is horrible. Um, I did find it really fucking funny though that when he had the blender, he turned on the blender and he's like, "Huh? Huh?" And he couldn't hear. That's actually my favorite part is he basically calls her what he says, demon woman, and he also calls Madame Rouge La Bouche. Oh God. Like I said, French is not my forte. And I know it's something, I think he calls her a cow, is what he was calling her, is what he was calling her. At that point. And she's like, "What? Do we have a problem?" And he flips on the blender. And he's like, "What? What?" You know? And he does the same thing, of course, with the brain when the brain says, "Give me my toys," and he flips on the blender. Oh, that was actually pretty funny. So, yeah, next week, of course, we wrap things up with this, and I don't know if we're going to wrap up Rita's storyline at all. If we're going to have anything happen with Larry and his parasite, his space parasite, already is getting kind of old now at this point. And also the whole thing with Madame Rouge posing as you know the baby Rory there, and that was just disturbing. And it was really horrible CGI too. But I, in this case, I'll allow it. It kind of worked with the episode. It really did, and it kind of went with the whole Doom Patrol aesthetics, quite honestly. So CVM says he said something like la femme de la bouche. So if you actually have the subtitles on, yeah, he says la femme de la bouche, de la bouche, de la bouche, la, yeah. And then he calls her a demon woman too. So it was kind of a funny thing. So they didn't translate the la bouche part, but they did translate the demon lady part, which was kind of odd. So yeah. I'm hoping the buttholes with teeth show up because that whole thing, the zombie butthole. We don't have any resolution on that one. We saw him. What was that? Like 4 episodes ago, 5 episodes ago, and I want some more of the zombie, the zombie butt heads or buttholes or whatever they are. So were butts. That's what they're called. Zombie were butt. This show is just fucking weird and it's just funny as hell. It really is. Um, yeah, I'm glad that this is getting a fourth season. I honestly hope it goes to like 10 seasons. It really does need to. It's one of those shows that consistently gives weird shit to us, and I'm happy with it. Oh, and also with Jane ends up going up into the driver's seat, and Kay ends up going down to the underground. She unleashes something. We don't know what it is. She goes to hide in her room, and of course, whatever it is banging on the doors and pounding, making the door bulge. and she screams this, I don't know, this like sonic scream, and then Jane screams a sonic scream that takes out the bus. And that's where we kind of leave everything off. Where yeah, Cliff's brain and is also in a jar along with Madame Rouge, and they're out in the forest someplace. And yeah, and the brain is inside Robot Man's body, or yeah, in the robot body, and dancing around. So Cliff is magic apparently. Yes, he is part magic. He's part science and part magic. So that was one of the things they actually discussed about the Bureau of Normalcy, that they had to use science and magic together, and that's what Niles Calder's calling was merging science and magic together. In the comics, if you want something really weird, at one point, Cliff or Robot Man had the ability to clone himself, and cloned himself so much that he actually made a planet of Robot Men. It was big enough to be a planet in and of itself, and it was just all robot men, and they're orbiting around someplace. Yes, that is how fucking weird the comic was. So the show's not just as, weird out of nowhere. It's from the comic. The comic is really fucking strange, especially the Grant Morrison run. The Grant Morrison run on Vertigo is just out there, just completely out there. And that's around late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around there. CBM says it's funny that there seems to be a genuine consensus that Niles is a shitty scientist. Well, yeah, he is. He is a. Uh, the only analogy I can make is people who go on YouTube and then say they were scientists. That's pretty much what Niles is. Is he is someone who does the minimum amount of research in order to find out what he needs, and then he cobbles the rest of the shit together on his own. So it's a wonder that any of this fucking shit works. That's why when Silas comes in, and he wouldn't let, remember, he wouldn't let Niles touch Vic at all when Vic had the accident, because he knew what a clusterfuck that Niles deals with in science, his version of science, if you will. So yeah, that's the reason why he's shitty. And then of course he's very opinionated too, which is why he had his opinion of Laura DeMille, and his strongly worded letter that she was not management material, which held her down and held her back. CBM says, like those people who do body modifications but don't know anything about genetics. Yeah, yeah. Any of those people that do body modifications, stay away from them. They really just stay the fuck away from them. Yeah. Philip says, I like how Dr. Stone says there's a bunch of buildings with my name on them, and I still have to worry about crazy cops busting the cap on my. Yeah. Um, well, he basically said why he missed an important game in his son's life. And he's like, yeah, I could have taken the guy down, but I had to think about, I have all these buildings with my name on them. And if I were to touch this cop, basically, my career would be over and my name would be disgraced. And yeah, it's and all just because he's black. And honestly, that's a real world problem. That was one of the things. And the way they brought it in, I liked how they just kind of did it matter of factly, very short, sweet, to the point. And I like how they're bringing that into Vic's character and also Silas's character. And and that's the way you need to do it. It's not done like a after school special, an ABC after school special or something like that. They actually do it in a realistic tone, and I'm that's what I'm digging about this. So yeah. So yeah, it's a good series. I mean, this is a great series, even though this episode was slow and kind of a little bit on the boring side. You know, it was better than most stuff that's out there. Because I mean, let's face it, it's the best show on TV. It really is. I remember that Boca Raton is heaven on earth. Oh man, that whole thing. And do you notice that all these characters that we're dealing with, none of them age? I mean, Madame Rouge should be around 70 or 80 years old now at this point. She doesn't age. Mala doesn't age. Of course, the brain is just a brain inside of you know, a metal housing, a robotic housing. So of course he's not going to age. But and then also the whole Sisterhood of Dada. They've been around since 1917 and didn't use the time machine, so they haven't aged either. So that's over 100 years for them at that point. So I mean, yeah, there's some weird shit going on when you got all these people that aren't aging. Yeah. Mork says great series, but boring episode. Got it. Noted. Yes. There's a lot of stuff that's actually popping up now on HBO Max. The fourth season of Young Justice is out, by the way. If you haven't been watching that, that's the animated Young Justice, and it's really good. I've been watching that, and Genlock just dropped, I believe, last night. So Genlock is back up now, season two of that, and I'm interested to get into that as well because I liked the first season, I really did. So we'll see that. CBM says the CW bullshit way of doing it. Yes, going back to the ABC after school special thing. Yes, CBM. CW does a really horrible job of bringing real world problems into their storylines and just hammering you over the head with it instead of doing it in a just normal fucking fashion and saying, this is what it is. This is how we're having to deal with it, unfortunately. And they just kind of bring it up I like the way they're doing this in Doom Patrol. They bring it up. It's matter of factly, it's there. And if you're living under a rock and don't know about this, I mean, you don't need to be black to know about this. It's out there. So yeah. Anyway, night marks. Sorry to wake you. All right. What else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Um, Philip says you can rest easy now, Dennis. I found a rusty nail on Oak. Oh, you did? Did you find a rusty nail on Oak Island? Does it date back to the 1700s? Is it part of the Templars, the Knights Templar? Is it of that construction era? Did you find a piece of rotting wood along with it, though? That's the whole thing. This could be the nail that you nailed it, Philip. That's it. You nailed it. Yeah, I'm gonna take an Apple Crow pun on that one. So, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Tomorrow I'm gonna be off. Saturday is gonna be Saturday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the week and any of the genre stuff. I'm sorry, it's not that funny, and it's actually making me laugh. It was just a bad pun. Saturday is gonna be Saturday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the week and any genre stuff you guys want to talk about. And we talk about it. Sunday, I'm most likely going to be doing spoiler alert because there's some shit we need to talk about. So it'll probably be Sunday night, if anything. So that's what's going to happen there. Monday, I'll be off. Tuesday is going to be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm doing as of yet, but I will post it when I do get there. Wednesday, I'll be off, and then Thursday we roll back around again to the season finale of Doom Patrol, and hopefully they nail it. They sorry, man. See, I came all the way back around again. I had to do it, and hopefully they stick the landing. Oh, that was a far way to go for such a bad pun. And the thing was, I wasn't planning on that one. It just happened to present itself. It stuck up like a nail that you need to hammer. And I see my count of people dropping slowly. All three of you. Um, All right. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com because that's where my schedule is. You can always hit the bell down below there, but it's almost a guarantee that YouTube is not going to notify you. So go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages as well. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. And thanks, everybody. So don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may get drugged by a shape shifting baby that takes your robot body, over to an evil guy who has only a brain inside of another robotic housing, but likes your robotic housing a little bit better. And so he switches brains with you. And it's just not a good idea all the way around. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Saturday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, get those vaccine shots, get those flu shots as well if you can, and stay safe out there. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Saturday. Have a good rest of your night and a good Friday, too. Thanks, everyone. Good night.